Good morning, everyone. This is Styles of Modern Samurai Academy. We're in Lake Park, Florida, and we're visiting GRACIE-BARRA. So, number one, thank you very much for welcoming us to GRACIE-BARRA Lake Park. It's quite an experience coming in. It's very welcoming. Everyone was very kind and welcoming to us, just coming into the class. You have a great personality.
I appreciate
You're very welcoming. So we've been to a couple schools and it's not as welcoming, and she noted that. We definitely noted that it was clean when we walked in. It smelt clean. I've been to some gyms that they smell very sour.
Funky.
Yeah, I don't want my gym to be like that for sure.
I agree, man. And I learned that perception. I come from Brazil, like Barra da Tijuca. That's the neighborhood I was born. Mm-hmm. So luckily in my life, I had the opportunity to train under the first GRACIE-BARRA in the world. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong, beautiful facility, amazing people, but wasn't the nicest, mm-hmm. cleanest place, right. Smelly, nothing like this. So when I grew up inside this environment, I say this is a fighting environment, in my mind. Yeah. So I moved to America years later, and I went to GRACIE-BARRA in San Diego. That's where I got my black belt over there. And man, GRACIE-BARRA San Diego was a clean facility, top notch, a welcoming environment, beautiful place. And then again, I don't say Brazil is the model for me, neither here is the model. I believe in a mix of models, a little bit of the roughness of Brazil, the roots, but for sure in a clean space, a welcoming environment, I believe Jiu-Jitsu developed a lot, so we have to develop a lot as well, what we're gonna offer to the public. If you want women in your space, if you want families in your space, you need to provide a space for them to feel comfortable as well. Those funky gyms, amazing for the macho man, amazing for the fighter, but not amazing for the power of Jiu-Jitsu compared to what the amount of people Jiu-Jitsu can reach. So I truly believe this. The other day, I listened to a lot of podcasts as well. I like the platform. I like the style of the conversation. And I was listening to Draculino, one of the GRACIE-BARRA head coach. Yeah. And he was saying, through his whole journey, 95% of his students weren't fighters. So why I'm going to focus in only 3% of the whole amount of people I have inside my gym to focus only on fighters. And fighters, it's a different lifestyle. It's cannot compare them to regular people. They have the craziness inside. They have the fire. They go through injuries, they overcome difficulties. Sometimes as a hobbyist, you just want to distress. You just want to get out of work, go back home, come to your family and go back to a physical exercise that's going to give you that outlet.
And be healthy.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
If he's bothering, put him over here.
No. You're part of the interview? Come on.
Vem aqui, meu brother.
Yeah.
Yes. Love it.
So, the concept of the channel that we're developing is basically traveling everywhere and asking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts, what does it mean to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt? And how does one achieve this status? What does it take to get there?
Honestly, with you, coming from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, sorry, my English was the baddest motherfucker in town, we look to that guy and say, man, this guy is a badass, has the whole stereotype of the fighter and what the fighter brings, evoke the emotions, of a fighter. So growing up in this environment, I always look to them and say, man, those guys you don't mess with, but at the same time, they were the cool guys. They were the surfers in my city, cool people, talk to everybody, relax it. So you have that stereotype, that profile of a fighter as a badass, as a tough guy, but you also have as a tough guy, there is a cool guy, relax it. Just don't mess with him. Yeah. But other than that, he's super nice. He's going to be relaxed, going to treat you well, polite. So since a young age, I noticed the black belts in my school was the coolest people I ever met in my life. And they come from all different of backgrounds. We have the doctors, black belts. We have people in construction. We have people from all over different backgrounds being a black belt. But once they achieve that, I remember clear that in GRACIE-BARRA, we always split the line into color belts and the black belts against the wall. Not necessarily against the wall, but in front of each other. And I remember in Brazil back in the days was 100, 120 people a class. So I was huge line to do deals by the end. And I used to look at them, was 20, 30 black belts on the mats every night. I look at them and say, I don't know if one day I'm gonna be on the other side of the line. You know, like I always look to the other side of the line, and I start progressing, blue, purple, and I start see myself coming closer to the end of the line. But I say, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to reach that. You know, it was such a mystery in my mind when I was younger. But you start growing up, you start developing. Jiu-Jitsu teach you how to be resilient, how to be patient. And I believe those two values work for your life beautifully, because we need to be patient, we need to be resilient in this world. So Jiu-Jitsu help you teaching that on the daily basis. You're not gonna get promoted in 1 year, neither in 2. So take your time, focus on your self-development. People used to tell me this all the time, focus on yourself, I say, what does it mean? You know, like 16, 17 years old, you don't understand what it means. You know, say, I just don't want to stop tapping. I just want to survive and start tapping someone. But later with your journey, maturing in your life, you start understanding those messages from people who already walked the journey before you. So being a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu for me, it's much more than just fighting. It's being an example for society of resilience, of toughness, of being strong, of going after what you really want. Because in my journey, for example, everybody has their own journey in Jiu-Jitsu, but it took me 13 years to be a black belt. Not very consistent. I have my gaps, my back, you know, I fall, I come back. Just like Rocky Balboa, I say to my student, doesn't matter how many times you fall, that what really matters how many times you're able to bounce back, you know, like, so Jiu-Jitsu, that's Jiu-Jitsu for me. I found Jiu-Jitsu back in my life when one of the worst moments, mid-pandemic, depressive, sad, needing to do, you know, socialize, alone in my place, say what I'm gonna do with my life. So I had some friends in California. I called them. Honestly, if you're inside me, I was, let me see if my friends are miserable like me right now, you know, like just to empathize. And then I called them, say, no, we're living the best life over here, fighting Jiu-Jitsu every day. Why you're not in Jiu-Jitsu? And then I asked myself, why I'm not in Jiu-Jitsu, you know? So I decided to visit them over there. That was for Thanksgiving. We spent the Thanksgiving together on a Thursday. On a Monday, I signed up in GRACIE-BARRA San Diego. I say I need Jiu-Jitsu back in my life. Since that day, 5 years ago, Monday through Saturday, I'm on the mats. I didn't stop.
So there was a big gap there for you?
4 years in my life, I had a big gap.
Okay.
So I finished doing Jiu-Jitsu in Brazil from 15 years old to 23. After 23, I stopped until I was 27. Now I'm 32 years old doing Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
So it was a 4 years gap. Honestly, I thought I would never come back to Jiu-Jitsu. But the need of Jiu-Jitsu was much bigger inside me than like the rational part of Jiu-Jitsu, you know, the emotion, like I want to feel alive again. I want to feel like I have a community. I want to feel people around me. So the pandemic showed me that I need that, you know, I cannot be by myself. So when I joined GRACIE-BARRA San Diego, I found community, I found life, I found purpose, I found people. So that guided me to my journey. And since I walk on the mats, I look around and I say, this is what I want to do for life. I don't want to just be a black belt. I want to do this for life. You know, so that changed my mindset as an adult. And I'm very grateful to change that mindset. I'm not going to say it's easy, you know, fighting Monday through Saturday. It's very demanding for your body, for your mind. I wake up in the morning super stiff sometimes, super in pain. But again, if you find purpose, you keep going. You know, and my purpose, honestly, in Jiu-Jitsu, we have a saying in GRACIE-BARRA that I related myself a lot is, I just want to do to people what Jiu-Jitsu have done to me. You know, so Jiu-Jitsu changed my life. I want to change people's life through Jiu-Jitsu. So it's like everybody has a special talent. I believe in that. You just have to discover what it is. And I believe my special talent is not even Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is the vehicle. My special talent is, for me, is treating people nice. You know, like relating to people, talking, conversation, opening the doors, being welcome. Because I have many like life stories as you have, as everybody have. But life has shown me that if you're kind, if you're nice, if you're polite, the door's open for you. The door's open for me in San Diego. The door's open for me in America. The door's open in my life. As long as you have a positive, you know, and respectful attitude. Not just positive, but respectful as well.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, you were very opening, you know, and welcoming to us, so we really appreciated it. It was
I
great,
appreciate you guys visiting as well. I'm a small community compared to the amount of schools I have in my area, for example. You know, it's still the new guy on the block here. I've been here 2 years and a half, but I'm still the new kid on the block. We have like other established competitors around. but I truly believe in my journey, you know, like, don't get me wrong what I'm gonna say, I don't care about the other's journey regarding, oh, how many students you have, how you're dealing with your business. I wish you the best, but my energy is directed to my students. I cannot like forget about my students, oh, they're already there, and focus on the, you know, people outside. I focus inside, and I believe inside will get me outside. You know, the word of mouth, people being grateful to have like this environment, this atmosphere here, this will spread the word for me. I don't need to go out there and start pointing fingers to my competitors and say, oh, you do this wrong, you do this right. It's not up to me, you know. So I focus in my community. That's my way of living my life and directing my energy to what really works for me.
Right.
So for the people that are on their journey to black belt, such as myself, you know, it's taken me almost 17 years. I moved around the U.S. a couple times and didn't train that much. And there was COVID, of course, that put a hamper on things. But for the people that are making that journey, how would you say that they can achieve this status of being Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt? Like, what do they have to do in order to get there?
Like, for example, one thing that really touches me, it's like the speech of, sorry again, fuck motivation, let's go for consistency, you know, because rainy day, 6:30 in the morning, where is motivation, you know? I wake up in the morning, I don't feel motivated, to be honest. Some days, yes, but some days I feel like, man, but I create a routine, you know, like I put jiu-jitsu inside my routine. Since I was a young adult, start working, I had a boss in my life, he told me, Bernardo, you don't hate your routine. You just need to find a routine that you like. Routine for humans, it's essential. We need that in our mind. So that click with me and say, I need to find something that I like doing every day. You know, like, so of course I don't want to roll every night. I don't want to roll every day, but I want to be on the mats every day. You know, I want to be in contact with people every day. I want to learn a new technique every day. I want to develop my jiu-jitsu every day. So that's the consistency that I seek. For example, since I collar belts and in my journey of jiu-jitsu, as a young adult or young teenager, yes, I focus on the belt. You know, I want to be a black belt, but I focus on the belt. After that, I focus on myself. After being a purple belt with 25, 26 years old, I say, okay, the belt is a consequence of my acts. Let me act properly. If I want to be a black belt one day, I have to act like a black belt right now. So I need to be on time. I need to wash my clothes. You know, I need to pay attention to what my professor is teaching. I need to be respectful with my training partners. I cannot deny rolling. Even when I'm tired, I need to overcome this. So that whole mindset of becoming a black belt made me become a black belt, you know? Like, I was already envisioning myself. I say this, my professor is gonna kill me, but I bought my black belt rash guard as a brown belt and I put on my closet. You know, I never wear it, but I put on my closet. I say every day I wake up, I open the door, I say one day I'm gonna wear this. You know, one day I'm gonna wear this. And then the day I got my black belt, next day I was with my rash guard, he say, how did you buy that rash guard so fast? I say, man, it was in my closet waiting for a while, you know?
I've been manifesting.
You know, I've been manifesting this.
Yeah.
So I believe in that energy, you know, I believe in that mindset. So becoming a black belt, it's, as we say in Brazil, a black belt is a white belt who never quits. That's like the huge saying, the huge quote. But once you get there, that's the reality, you know. You don't have to reinvent the wheel or the chair. You just need to follow the journey, as many are following the journey. But again, it's not a 1 year journey. It's not a 5 years journey. Sometimes it's a 10 years journey. It's a 15 years journey. And once you got there, it's a new journey. Jiu-jitsu is not going to stop because you become a black belt. Oh, now I'm a black belt. Let me put it in my closet. No. Now you have other, you know, service to the community, to the society as being a black belt. What is the power of being a black belt? For example, I was listening to Hiram Gracie recently, and he was saying, what is the power of a black belt if you don't teach? If you don't pass this knowledge? You've been working on this for 17 years. You're going to die with this? Share, you know? That's the power of Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is made to be endless. And we are here just as a phase. It's beautiful to be in this planet at this time with you, doing Jiu-Jitsu.
Absolutely.
But we're going to pass. Jiu-Jitsu will stay. So I feel like I'm doing something. When I found Jiu-Jitsu in my life, I feel like I'm doing something much bigger than me. You know, can be reflected in religion, in other beliefs. But my belief is very simple. It's human. I'm helping human. Human's going to help me. I help people. People is going to help me. In a very good way, in a very fair trade. You know?
I've always heard that the real journey begins at black belt.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been discovering that each day. I complete 3 years as a black belt this year, and I feel like a white belt inside the black belts. You know, I met so many different people in my life, especially coming from Brazil, and I still see that I have a journey ahead. You know, like I'm far, far, far from over.
Yeah, I agree with the visualization and the manifestation of becoming a black belt before it's actually given to you. Because I've been right on that journey a lot in the last few years, because you know this YouTube channel is about everyone else, not about me. But the basis for it is my journey and my experience in jiu-jitsu and to black belt, and then beyond. You know, the story is to black belt. Like that's the
road to black belt.
The road to black belt, the journey, right? But then if the true journey begins at black belt, where do we go from there? And that's where my school, Modern Samurai Academy.
It's a beautiful logo, by the way. I like it.
Thank you. ChatGPT.
I've been doing ChatGPT as well.
Yeah,
I've been doing.
It's a good tool, man.
It is. I agree. We have to adapt and updates.
Yeah, and I'm not the most technologically advanced individual.
Me neither.
She's teaching me a lot.
That's one thing I'm grateful for jiu-jitsu. Technology can develop, robotics and everything. We need humans to do jiu-jitsu. We need people. And that's something very raw, very roots, very, deep. Mm-hmm. But that's beautiful, I cannot choke a computer. I need a neck. I need a neck to do that, I need somebody to feel pain. Without pain there is no jiu-jitsu, there's no learning, there is no struggle. So that's very there is made for us, Even again, fighting has, I hope we are not fighting 100 years from now regarding territory or something like this. Yeah. But we will always fight for something. Even to distress your mind, we will fight. I need an outlet. I need to relax today. Let's fight. We shake hands and we fight.
Like Joe Rogan says, fighting your inner bitch.
Isn't it?
Every day, bro.
I'm reliving that,
Every day.
I tell this to my students. I'm not fighting you. I'm fighting your movements. I love you. It's not personal. I really like you, man. But I'm going to try to choke you right now.
But I'm not gonna let you pass my guard.
Exactly. I'm going to choke you right now and I'm going to make you feel pain. But truly, I love you. I like you a lot.
Because I love you so much.
Exactly.
I need to teach you a lesson.
Exactly. That's my way of showing you affection, Just like in Brazil, we give nicknames to each other, It's a sign of affection. Yeah. Some people don't understand that, as people don't understand why we choke each other. But for me, it's still a sign of affection, a style of bonding. Yeah. I had a lot of military, not students because they were my training partners. And we connected a lot regarding the mindset, regarding the struggle together, of being in the trenches together. When you're about to quit, you resist a little bit more. And that inspires your training partner to resist a little bit more on the next row. So this is very humanity, very human. So I love. It's not perfect. It's full of flaws, but it's full of will of overcoming those flaws. That's jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is about overcoming challenges. It's about solving problems, creating problems. So it's very dynamic. I don't see jiu-jitsu as stagnant. I see as continuous development, as myself as well. So as a martial artist, we have to follow this philosophy of jiu-jitsu of continuous development. That's what I truly believe. I call this evolution.
Yeah. And so the overarching story here for me is the journey to black belt, and then the journey from black belt to becoming a samurai. And I think that's kind of like what you're talking about. You're talking about the overall concept of jiu-jitsu is huge, but it's actually still just one piece of the puzzle.
I agree with
you.
In
becoming like a samurai, becoming the ultimate human, becoming the ultimate version of yourself, right? Yeah.
I believe in that as well.
You know this guy, Gary Brecka?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's called the Ultimate Human Podcast.
Okay.
It's all about health, and actually he's in Florida here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, you should check it out.
I'm going to check it out. The Ultimate Human?
The Ultimate... Yeah, the Ultimate Human. Yeah,
I'm gonna check it out.
Ultimate Human Podcast.
I'm very interested in that subject.
Yeah,
self-development.
He's a biohacker, so it's all about putting the right supplements in, sleep routine, everything. If I think you'll actually dig him. He's really, he's always talking about what does it take to be the ultimate human, you know, and so I think that...
I believe that's the end. My personal belief, I don't have the answers and I don't believe anybody has, you know, but I believe that's the endless quest. You know, like, if that's the white belt mindset that we always talk about it, you know, let your ego on the side, come over here free of your prejudgments and develop yourself, evolve as a human. And once you evolve as a human, evolve again, evolve again. I don't know the answer of afterlife, but again, I truly believe this helps some way, somehow in the future, you know, that type of connection. Of course, we have the pleasure of the flesh here, you know, being in contact with you, see you developing and everything else. But I truly believe on the spiritual side of Jiu-Jitsu as well, that helping human connection, helping you develop in your life, for sure, some way, somehow, karma, energy, whatever you want to call, I believe, you know, I'm guided by that. So Jiu-Jitsu helped me a lot to feel that on a daily basis. It's not just a concept. I feel happiness when it walks through my door. I feel gratitude when people shake my hands, you know, so I'm exchanging that energy daily. So I truly feel like I have an answer. I have a purpose. I have a north. I have a path. I just want to keep following.
Yeah.
With pleasure, for sure. I do this with happiness. You know, that's why I choose doing this.
Yeah.
I could do any other thing that I want in my life, but I choose to do this because I truly believe in the power of this.
Yeah, well, you definitely radiate positivity.
I appreciate
We
you.
felt it as soon as we came in, too. So.
How amazing to be able to get up and come train and help people.
Isn't it? I'm talking to you barefoot right now. This is for me lifestyle, you know, like I always envision myself as a teenager in a lifestyle, not just in a profession, you know, like luckily I came from a good family in Brazil. I was born in a good family. I had the opportunity to learn English very young. I had the opportunity to travel. So since a young age, I say, I don't want to be just successfully professionally, you know, like I don't want to be just, I don't want to pack money and money is what I want. I always envision something further, you know. I want to have a lifestyle. I want to be happy. I don't want to be suit and tie. No problem with the guys suit and tie. I respect them as well, but not me.
Not for
I
you,
want, not for me. But I never had the answer, you know. I always in the mist. I was always lost. I say, I don't know what is the answer, but I know what I want. I don't know precisely how I'm going to make it, but I know what I want. And when I connected the dots between something that was in my life since I was 15 years old to the reality of Jiu-Jitsu in America, because being honest with you, in my country, I never envisioned teaching Jiu-Jitsu. I always loved Jiu-Jitsu, but I saw my professor struggling. The guy was a world champion. The guy was a badass on the planet. I never saw this guy tapping in my life. But in life, he had to do 2 works, 2 jobs, you know, like after work. Oh, the guy was maneuvering his life. And I say, I respect a lot this guy, I admire a lot this guy, but I don't want to suffer like he's suffering right now to put that positive side of Jiu-Jitsu out. So when I came to America and I saw a different reality of people respecting the martial art, people developing through the martial art, and you are able to make a living of this martial art in this country, I say, this is the answer for me. You know, I had the path, but I didn't know the answer. Once I connected Jiu-Jitsu with America, for me, that was the answer, you know.
Beautiful.
I want the lifestyle that Jiu-Jitsu provides you in America. I don't know about the world, you know, I have friends in different parts, but what we are doing in this country is beautiful. Providing that livelihood, and again, we have all kind of Jiu-Jitsu schools over there, all kind of success, but again, give you the possibility to work through the path, you know, give you the chance. If you're gonna reach or no, it's up to you in everything that you do in your life. But America gives you the possibility, the opportunity, you know, so it's still the land of opportunity here comparing to the other places in the world. I see a lot of criticism regarding this country nowadays, but it's still the best place to live in the world is here.
Every immigrant that I have met has told me this, so it must be true.
We have a different view of this country because we come from a very, don't get me wrong, I love my culture, I love my country, but it's a very shitty place to live right now, you know, full of violence, corruption. So still not perfect here, yes, but it's still much better than the rest. A lot of that stuff is more subtle here, you know, it's more underground. I agree.
They're still trying to control us and stuff, you know, with the laws and different things, but it's more casual. It's very...
In Brazil, they try to control you in your face. You know, like...
Because if not, they just smack you around.
Exactly, you know, so... I truly believe in your own independence, you know, like, but we have to be in a place that gives you the opportunity for that as well. You know, it's not just about yourself. You can be the A person in Brazil right now. You can make it happen, but you still cannot walk outside of your own door and feel safe. So what kind of life is this? You succeed in your life, in your business life, but you don't have freedom. So what kind of success is that?
Yeah.
You know, so I never connected those dots of living in my country since a young age, because I see this is not life. I've been in Europe, I've been in America before. Those guys live much more freedom than we live. And they're making sometimes less money than we are making. So it's not just about money. Just like Jiu-Jitsu, it's not just about fighting. You know, like it's one aspect of a lot of aspects.
Yeah. Maybe thinking about just from the perspective of school owner, you know, we started Modern Samurai it's been 14 or 15 months. So
February 14th was the year.
Yeah, on Valentine's Day. So
that's beautiful.
We started in 2024, and I was just teaching a little bit in my garage, and
Gracie style.
Yeah.
Gracie style, that's how it started, isn't it?
Right. And unfortunately, at the time, I was going through the divorce, so I didn't have the access to the garage anymore. But fortunate for me that happened, because it actually spurred me to go in a new direction and follow my path that was, you know, maybe a little dark at the time, but it was a light at the end of the tunnel. I just had to follow it.
The night
you know?
is always darker before the dawn.
Yes.
I love that quote.
And when I went to my old school, Northwest Martial Arts, shout out Harold, thank you very much. You know, I told him that I was going through these struggles. I have some private students, and I need to do a few lessons here and there. You know, is it possible that I could rent out the back room? You know, he said, yeah, but you got to get your own LLC, get your own insurance. You have to deal with everything yourself, you know, but you're welcome to do that here. And he leased me the back room. So my gym started inside of my home gym,
That's awesome.
which is very unique. You know, I'm sure not many people have that opportunity.
And very unique from the perspective of your professor. You know,
He
like,
didn't have to do that at
like
all.
selfless person, you know, like
Super
let
awesome.
your ego on the side and let me help my friend over here. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That's jiu-jitsu for me, you know.
And I had some people telling me, mainly my ex-wife, telling me, oh, you can't do that. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough money. You know, like, how are you going to fit that into your schedule? Like, dream killers, bro. Everybody wants to be a dream killer, you know? And
There's a lot of them out there, isn't it?
And when I went back to Northwest Martial Arts, Harold told me, he's like, no, fuck that, bro. You're going to thrive here. And I knew from that moment on that it was going to be amazing. And so that's what started my journey into Modern Samurai, the actual business, you know?
That's beautiful, man. And I can empathize with you. It's about people, you know? Sometimes I don't know, I call angels, you know?
Yeah, right.
We have those angels on earth, and I'm only here because people help me as well. I'm not here because I'm by myself, you know, I'm a warrior. I truly believe I'm a warrior, but I'm not by myself, you know? So I had a lot of people helping me in this journey. Just in my jiu-jitsu journey for this school in America, first I had my friends that introduced me back to jiu-jitsu, brought me back to jiu-jitsu. If it weren't for them, probably I'll never step on the mats again. After step on the mats, I had the beautiful person in my life, my professor in San Diego. If it wasn't for the inspiration of that guy, the inviting to start teaching, probably I would never have been doing this in my life. So it's a consequence of facts, of people in your life, of things, the domino effect, the butterfly effect that's happening, that it's, for me, that's the magic, you know? I don't know how to explain how those things happens, but I'm grateful that they happen, you know? Like, the encounters.
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity, I believe in that, you know?
Oh,
so, as long as you prepare yourself and you're ready to live that moment, you will live that moment. But you need to envision that moment first to be ready for that moment.
And you were talking about just being open to the opportunities. You know, you
agree.
said there was a guy looking in the window. Can you tell us that story
I
again?
was cleaning the place. One day here, the guy came to my window. I opened the door, say, hey, good afternoon. I say, oh, nice facility that you have. I say, yeah, thank you so much. Do you do jiu-jitsu? And then he sat on the bench here. We start talking. And he say, oh, I work for a huge broadcaster. And we are interested to do a health show. And I'm trying to talk to them about jiu-jitsu. What do you think? I say, oh, I think jiu-jitsu is awesome. Blah, blah, blah. We talk very formal. I give him my card. I say, if you need any help, just talk to me. Bye. 3 months later, I got an email from the broadcast saying, we'd like to do a TV show with you. because our employee was there. I told you're a nice guy. I say, I'm down. I'm down.
Nice. So
Let's do it.
You were on the news? Is that
Yes.
okay? So they interviewed you?
They interviewed me, put me on the news. I got people from those news, you know, like, oh, I saw you on the TV. Can I, you know, join you? Say, it's a pleasure, man.
That's awesome.
Nice.
So that's something that we cannot plan. I didn't plan to do that. I just opened the doors. So as I open the doors for you guys, I keep opening my doors, because that's what I truly believe, you know. If it wasn't for people opening the doors for me, I wouldn't be here. So I have to open doors for more people as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes opening doors is not like giving them money, giving them, give your energy, give your smile, give your good morning, you know, like sometimes it's simple. And people trying to think, oh, you need to do this, that. No, sometimes shake your hands. Welcome, you know, live the experience together. It's simple, you know, gestures. Yeah. I believe in
Well, we're at the timeshare yesterday, and you know they want to give you a presentation, sell you, upsell you on the next level. You know, oh, you're here, we got the platinum level. You're at the platinum, we got the diamond level. You know, so they always want to give you the. But being open to the opportunities that the world gives you that you may not even recognize, you know. So we're talking to the girl because we went and did the presentation, and
we were not going to buy anymore, though.
You know, we decided right away we're not going to buy, but we're going to listen and see what the world gives us. And talking to the girl at the desk, we told her, oh, we're here for jiu-jitsu. We're going to go do jiu-jitsu. We came and did jiu-jitsu, and we're going to interview somebody for the YouTube channel. And she's like, oh, really? And my boyfriend trains martial arts, and he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, and there's maybe a chance we might end up interviewing him before we leave. But had we not made that decision to go listen to the presentation and talk to the girl at the desk, we wouldn't have been open to that opportunity, you know?
Of course, so just like outspoken as well, you know, we're here for that. And then you find people, you know, in that, you know, that journey as well. Yeah. So that's beautiful. So that's human connections, you know?
You have to be open to whatever the world might give you.
Whatever bring it, I'm aware, I'm here, I'm waiting, you know? So it's a mindset for me. My grandpa showed me that mindset since a young age. He was the guy that read The Secret, you know, that whole like mentalization, visualization. And since a young age, he taught me that. And in the beginning for me was not even silly, it was just a way of seeing the life, you know. And later start making sense for me, and I say I need to embrace that. That's what I want for me. So I'm always like waking up in the morning, trying to put some good energy out there. And the main energy that I have inside me is gratitude. You know, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to enjoy this experience. I'm grateful to be healthy and fight jiu-jitsu. So that energy of gratitude for me seems very cliche right now, but it's honestly the answer for me. You know, like I'm not here jealous, envying people. I'm grateful for what I have. I want more. I will have more. But I will follow my journey to have this, you know.
Tell us a little more about your lineage in Brazil. You said you're a teacher.
Of course.
Maybe
so
explain who they are and
just like one step back. How did I ended up in jiu-jitsu? You know, why I did start jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is very famous where I came from. Since I was born, my grandpa talked about seeing Helio Gracie on the TV fighting. You know, my father used to be friends with Carson, so we had like the Gracie was very intrinsic in our lives in Rio de Janeiro. Very famous family, very famous school, very famous martial art. Again, the cool, the badass guys. So we always knew those. So I remember when I started growing up, like 13, 14 years old, we started doing the Sweet 16 in Brazil. It's Sweet 15, like the girls' party, 15 years old. And since that, like early stage, I saw street fights happening. Kids fighting, you know, teenagers fighting, but that replicates in the society for the adults and everything. So I started watching that as a very young age, and I was completely scared. I say, I don't know what to do if they punch me on my face. I'm in deep problems, but I always postponed. You say, I don't want to talk to my dad that I want to fight, you know, like, I don't know. Let me mature this idea in my mind. I was a surfer. I used to surf. But surfing, the Gracie was there as well. The family was there. The jiu-jitsu people was there. And we talked to each other on the beach. Oh, what are you going to do? I'm going to jiu-jitsu. Oh, jiu-jitsu is here. Oh, it's over there. Okay. You save in your mind. And then I remember one day I came home. I have an older brother, 10 years older than me. And it was me, my brother, and my dad. We started like a lutinha, you know, like little fights, grappling here, grappling there. And then I realized, man, I don't know nothing. You know, like I'm afraid of my father right now. I'm afraid of my brother. And then that was so shocking inside me that I came to my dad and saying, man, I want to fight. I say, what do you mean you want to fight? I say, I want to learn a martial art. Okay, nice. Let me think about it. What do you want to do? Like judo is very famous in Brazil as well. Olympic sport, we have, you know, medalists. So he said, judo, what do you think about judo? Karate, you know? I said, no, man, I want to do jiu-jitsu. I say, jiu-jitsu, that's such a vandal sport, you know? You want to street fight.
The
you
low
know,
lights,
like,
huh?
exactly. Why you want to do this? You want to be a rough guy, you know? I say, no, man. I want to learn how to defend myself, and there is no other martial art that I see more efficient than this one, you know? Like, I have friends doing this at my age, and they're able to control adults. They send me, you know, like pictures, controlling adults. That for me is like crazy. I say, all right. And I was born in Barra, living in Barra. I say, all right, let's go to the school closest to us. And that was the first GRACIE-BARRA. I walked to the mats, Master Carlos Gracie was there, my instructor was there, Professor Jefferson was there. And then I was super welcome, you know, like not the cleanest environment, not the most welcoming environment, but you walk through the door, hey, what do you want? I remember a fun story. My father, you know, used to carry a gun. He said, let me get prepared, my son. I don't know what's going to happen today, you know? So it was that whole aura of, I don't know what to expect from there. As soon as we got there, we were well received, shake hands, beautifully, everything started. And again, I started in the school as 15 years old. I spent 80 years going almost every day to that school. But I never realized how big Jiu-Jitsu was and how GRACIE-BARRA was big as well. I was just a kid in my neighborhood, so I had no idea.
It was just that gym at that time.
That gym at that time. I knew there was other GRACIE-BARRAs, I knew that. But I didn't know how big it was all over the world, you know?
Right.
So I remember when...
Or maybe how important that gym was or
exactly.
is.
Or even the Gracies, you know, like for example, Roger was there training for the Worlds, and I say, oh, this guy's really good. Yeah, that's Roger Gracie, man. He's good, isn't it? No, he's not good. He's the best. You know, like, so I was very like, I remember my first role was against Kira Gracie. A woman on the family. She whooped my ass. I say, I want to be like that girl. She's badass, you know. And by the time she was a model, she brought the pink key to the community. She was beautiful. And then I was like, that girl is gonna kick my ass. And she went there, whoop my ass.
Sweep the floor with you.
My God, I say I want to be like those guys. So one class for me was enough to know that was powerful.
Addiction.
You know, addiction. So I say I want to be like those guys. You know, like safe, secure, happy, but don't fuck with them. You know, like don't fuck with them. So that's how I started in Jiu-Jitsu. And in the beginning of my journey, I remember, for example, we had many GRACIE-BARRA students, famous all over the world. And I was one day on the mat, sitting on the mats, tired after training. And then a guy climbed the stairs. You know, we had a stairs, was the rooftop of a gym, workout gym, the first GRACIE-BARRA. And then I say, oh, look at that guy. He looks like George St. Pierre. And the guy, no, that's George St. Pierre. I say, my God, what that guy's doing in Brazil,
I'm in the right spot. I'm in the right spot, bro.
He gave us like a, you know, like a frame with the gloves. He was a black belt from GRACIE-BARRA Montreal, you know. So his professor, who was from the same school as me, brought him to introduce to the guys.
Beautiful.
So I started realizing how big it was, the school that I was into, and
Worldwide.
the family and everything. But it really clicked with me when I came to America, you know, like I came to America, I signed up in GRACIE-BARRA San Diego as a student, and my professor asked me, where are you coming from? I say, oh, from GRACIE-BARRA. Which one? I say, Barra, the first one? And then, is it the first? You know, like I didn't...
Oh, you didn't realize?
No, I didn't realize. I was like ignorant in a good way of the word, you know? I didn't have a clue. I was just learning how to protect myself. I didn't have a clue who was Master Carlos Gracie and he's important to the sport. I didn't have a clue who was Roger, who was... For me, it was a family that fight. Amazing. Just a family.
Embedded in your culture.
Exactly. But when you travel abroad and you know that everybody knows their family, every school that you walk in, you have that guy on the wall, I say, my God, I do something really big, you know, like I'm part of a big community and I didn't know about that.
Huge.
So that's my lineage. I started in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. My master was Carlos Gracie Jr. I had my main professor in Brazil, Jefferson Moura and Kleber Buiu. They call him the Black Gracie. So it was beautiful to have them both in my journey. A lot of black belts. But once I moved to America, I affiliate myself with GRACIE-BARRA San Diego. And the person who gave me the black belt is my professor, Alexandre Ogawa. He's the head instructor and the owner of GRACIE-BARRA in San Diego.
Okay. Well, in the future, maybe you can open the door for us to speak
Will
with
be
him.
a pleasure.
You know? Yeah.
That guy for me, that's the modern samurai. You know,
Yeah.
he showed me, like, don't get me wrong, what I'm gonna say. I see a lot of shades of jiu-jitsu in my life.
Yeah.
In Brazil, I saw fighters. You know, people like scary people. You know, that people that you don't mess with. People who knows jiu-jitsu in their memory deep inside. You know, people that I saw that never tap in their life. I know that doesn't exist, but like those monsters. You know, the guys
Yeah.
that you create, like, oh, those are monsters. If I reach one day 1/10 of his level, I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like those guys that you see the
The
strike like a
legends,
zebra.
the
You know, like the
legends.
legends.
Yeah.
The guy who founded jiu-jitsu for us. You know, the base of jiu-jitsu that nowadays we talk about. Now they're coral belts. They are up in their journey. I saw those guys since a young age, and I was mesmerized by them. My professor in San Diego, amazing fighter as well, but he showed me the other side of jiu-jitsu, how to be a professor, how to be an example for your community, how to be an example for society, how to help people with jiu-jitsu, how to be kind, how to be respectful, how to be polite. So he was, for me, not the fighter.
He sculpted you.
He's the samurai. You know, he's the image. Yes, the molded me. You know, like, so I like to say everything in life is a remix. So you get something here, something there. You mix what you have inside, and then you create your own remix, and that's unique. I say to all my students, the way you fight jiu-jitsu is unique. Nobody can replicate your style in jiu-jitsu. So enjoy. Of course, you're gonna have reference for people that you admire. Oh, I like Marcelo Garcia sweeps. I like Roger Mount position. And then you go pick. But the way you play this is unique. You know? So I always believe in that. But I always got my reference. So jiu-jitsu, I had the Brazilian reference. The guys that I saw on the mats, that's jiu-jitsu for me. Fighting. Oh, I like those styles. But like as a professional, as an instructor, as a professor, I don't want to be just a fighter. I want to have this image of the samurai. You know, the guy who helps its community, helps their people. It's discipline. It's there every day on time. It's like every day sharp, you know, like providing you a good experience, to provide you a good image of what is to be a fighter. You know, it's an example for me. You know, so my professor for me is an example of character, example of discipline, example of, you know, image of everything, you know. So that guy taught me how to be a martial artist, not to be a fighter.
Right.
I was already a fighter. He taught me how to be a martial artist.
Well, he did a great job.
I appreciate it.
Great job.
So that's the guy for me. Like, I have him in high respect. Once a month, twice a month, we call each other just to see how it's going. And for me, it's a pleasure to be under his lineage, because that's a samurai.
Yeah.
You know, and his lineage go through the Gracie family as well. He came from a different city in Brazil than me. He's from São Paulo. So his lineage was with Ryan Gracie, not with Carlos Gracie Jr. Now it is with Carlos Gracie Jr., but always inside the family. So I really respect that journey, and it's a pleasure for me to have in contact with those.
It's like a fabric. It's all woven together.
Isn't it?
Know? They may be individual threads, but they're all connected.
I agree with you.
It's all jiu-jitsu, right?
I agree with you. Everything is jiu-jitsu.
Speaking maybe to being a business owner, I'm a new gym owner. You know, I'm not yet a black belt, and for a long time I thought maybe, oh, people that aren't black belts shouldn't own a school, you know, and now that I'm in that position, I see it slightly different, you know.
I had the same struggle as you, to be honest. I was a brand new black belt when I opened my gym. I was waiting for that turn in my life to open a gym. Not to necessarily open a gym, but to follow my journey as a solo instructor. And I call my friends. I have a lot of friends in jiu-jitsu that grew up with me, and some of them followed the journey as an instructor as well. So I called them and say, man, how do you feel like teaching a class by yourself in your own school? I say, man, in the beginning I had the imposter syndrome, you know, like I don't know if I'm able to do that. But what changed in my mind and in my daily basis was the feedback from people. You know, you start doing in the dark. Like, I don't know if what I'm doing is right. I know that I know jiu-jitsu. That's a fact. You know, like I've been doing this
I can defend myself.
Exactly. I've been doing this for 15 years. So if you ask me how to do armbar, I know how to do armbar. You know, like the mechanical part of this, yes, I have to develop a lot, but I know the path. I know the north, the route. The other side, I don't know. It's completely dark for me. I don't know how to manage a business yet. I don't know how to market here or whatever, you know, the other shades of the business. But what keeps me going, what gives me extra motivation to make sure that I'm on the certain path and I'm able to do that was people. People every day, oh Bernardo, thank you for the class. The class today was amazing. The energy was high. Thank you so much. You changed my day today. I was in a bad mood, now in a great mood. So every day having this feedback from people, you start believing it.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I'm doing something nice. You know, like, not because I believe I'm doing something nice. As well, I truly believe I'm doing something nice.
And not just for money.
But not just for money, but they're giving back
Love
that
it.
energy, you know, that love. So that love was like an engine for me to keep going. So I started teaching as a purple belt, as a coach, helping the kids class, cleaning the restroom. That was my deal with my professor. He said, professor, I cannot afford a school right now. You know, I'm broke. I need to hustle. I need to make money, but I truly want to do this. I'll pay you 3 months in ahead. That's what I have. But 3 months from now, I don't know. I said, Bernardo, take it easy. Let's go. And then every day, consistent. Bernardo, can you help me with the kids' class? Yes, I can. Bernardo, can you help me with the restaurant? Yes, I can. Bernardo, can you help me with this? Yes, I can. I'm never gonna shut the door, Professor. The more you give, keep feeding me, man. I'm going.
Keep it coming.
You know,
keep
keep coming. I'm thirsty, you know? So daily. And then since a purple belt, I had the students, hey, Bernardo, you have a touch for this, man. You know, you're a nice guy. Hey, Bernardo, today's better than yesterday. And then my mind start building. I say, I'm able to do that, you know, like maybe I'm meant to be doing that, you know, like, so that's like, what's the people for me? So the answer, how to become a, you know, like a entrepreneur, a gym owner, was much more day by day than the vision of the step of 5 years, you know, like in 5 years, I want to have 200 students. I want to have this. I also want, you know, don't get me wrong, I want. But at the same time, the daily motivation of the little pills of happiness that people give me, that fulfill me, you know. So little by little, I start creating a monster inside me of, I'm capable of doing that, you know. I'm not gonna deny myself anymore. So you start seeing your value to the community, to people, and then it's an engine. When you put the oil on the engine goes.
One of my mentors, he said, just move the needle every day. He's like, you don't have to red line it. You don't have to get it, you know, the pedal to the metal, the gas doesn't have to go to the floor every day.
Get out of inertia, isn't it?
Move the needle every day. Just make some progress a little bit every day. And that really has helped me a lot. So the other thing that I found is that just being able to take myself out of the professor type attitude or the head coach type attitude. People look at me like that, my students, because I am the head coach, but I want to make clear to them that I am the head coach, but I'm also the #1 student. And I try to make that clear with all of my students, is that we're learning together. You know?
I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful attitude and a beautiful mindset. I tell to my students, I'm a facilitator. I'm not the owner of knowledge. I'm not the owner of the answers. I'm a facilitator. I've been doing this for a while, so I can tell if it's going to work or not. But again, if you show me something new that works, I want to learn. Teach me. So, for example, new discovery for me was wrestling in America. You know, it's not very famous in Brazil. Nowadays, it's developing for sure, especially with the professional fighters. But when I started, I didn't know what was wrestling, you know. So coming to America and see people double leg taking down me like it was nothing, I need to learn that. Come over here, teach me what you do, man, you know.
Weakness in my game.
Exactly. Yeah. So I have students here that are wrestler, professional wrestler, world champion wrestlers I have on the mats. I come to them with my white belt in wrestling and say, teach me how you do a double leg.
Right.
But what do you want, Bernardo? The double leg reverse? I say, no, I want the first double leg. Imagine that I'm a kid of 7 years old, teach me a double leg. And then they teach you, I say, thank you. You know, like, so I say to my student, if you're doing something nice, you're doing something that works, let's get together, let's learn together. I was watching a documentary recently about the jiu-jitsu in Japan. And was saying on that documentary that nowadays Brazilian jiu-jitsu in Japan is trained more than traditional jiu-jitsu, the Japanese jiu-jitsu. And the guy was a Japanese master, but he lived in Brazil for 15 years. In Brazil, we have the biggest outside Japanese colony in the world in Brazil. So we have, my professor is pure Japanese from mom and dad, but born in Brazil. So we have a lot of Japanese people born in Brazil, Brazilian,
big
Japanese,
community.
Big community. So he was saying with a fluent Portuguese, he was saying, I believe the main difference of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, like was so famous in Japan right now, is because because traditional jiu-jitsu, judo in Japan, the professor is the owner of the truth. If your professor say to you, you're gonna do this, and you don't do this, you're wrong. You know, so you need to follow, because that wasn't created by me. This is thousands of years. So you're not gonna deny thousands of years right now. So you're gonna follow. It's the culture, is the formula, is the potion. So you follow step by step, you're gonna reach that. So what's changing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? This is the formula. But if I cut the corner over there and do this, I reach the same way. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So do your way.
More than one way. More than one way.
So do your way. Yeah. And then that start developing, and then jiu-jitsu become endless. People are inventing chokes nowadays. 5 years ago, I don't know, buggy chokes. And then, it's a constant development sport. Why? Because of the remix. Yeah. We grab the wrestlers, we grab the sambo guys, we grab the judo guys and say, teach me what you do, and I will adapt to jiu-jitsu.
Well, and I'm Generation X, right? We came out with like skateboarding. You know, they had the DJs mixing and scratching on the records. Like, they invented the remix with the technology, you know. So that's my generation, and everything is a remix of everything at this point. Yeah, totally.
That's great to hear you say that, because you're right.
Yeah, our generation came up with that. You know?
So that's one thing I praise about my culture in Brazil. We know that we are not the best, but we want the best. Yeah. So if you show me what is best, I grab it, I take it. Yeah. I'm not that proud of saying, no, my culture, my technique is better than yours. Yeah. No, for me, whatever is best, I take it. I appreciate. So we call jiu-jitsu. We don't call Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Yeah. We call jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Because it's not Brazilian. Right. It's Japanese, it's European, it's African, it's Indian. It's a whole, like... So if you can teach me something that works, I want to learn, man. Yeah. I'm not blocked to that. But if something don't work for my game, I lay it on the side and I keep following my journey.
What a great opportunity, too, that Horian and the brothers, they came to America, created the UFC, and it became such a big thing, Like, I remember begging my mom for the very first UFC on pay-per-view, and she's like, oh, it's too violent. And I'm like, that's the point, I was 13 years old or something, but, like, what a great opportunity for them to bring it to the big stage of America, to the world, through the United States, and capitalism, that the money brought it too, but it gave it the opportunity to put the spotlight on what jiu-jitsu was, like when Royce choked out all of those people, you look at him and you're like, he's just coming out in his pajamas, like, what is this guy, why would you wear all that stuff when the other guys, they have nothing to hold on to, they're just wearing like shorts, they're just like a street brawler, and then he's
super
just
nice to see that perspective that you're talking about.
Let me show you the Ezekiel, my friend.
It's beautiful because it was very shocking, was very awkward, was very new, but from my perception, that was what we do.
Yeah.
Coming from that country, from that culture, I say, I wouldn't mess with Royce, not even one day, across the street.
He's not that big.
Not that big.
For big men,
So what I'm trying to say, and don't get me wrong, what I'm going to say is, it was shocking for the whole world, but not for Brazilians.
Yeah, I know.
Right. We were shocked with Hélio Gracie. Yeah. 1930s, 40s. Yeah. We were shocked on the 40s. So when Royce come 50 years later, that's the Gracies. They do that forever. Wasn't
it's
that
like
shocking?
Breathing. It's like breathing.
Then Royce grabbed the mic and say, do you think I'm tough? Wait to see my brother Rickson. And then we say, yeah, wait for the whole family, so we knew their power.
You knew it was coming.
We knew what was coming, so it's beautiful to see that Jiu-Jitsu exploded to the world, but since in 1920s in Brazil, Jiu-Jitsu was very respected.
Well, the story of how him and Kimura and Zulu, they would fight in the big stadium with like 50,000 people live.
It's a very terrifying atmosphere.
Back in the 40s?
People screaming, you're gonna die.
30s?
Very gladiator vibe, So Brazil, it's not for, like we say, it's not for amateurs. Yeah. Brazil is not for amateurs,
Yeah, I bet.
You have to be certain what you're going to do there because that city is going to eat you alive, you know, just out of animosity. You walk and people screaming, punching, you grabbing you, and then you feel that human heat, you start like animal, animal instincts right away. So it's very savage. When they come from that atmosphere, all the rest for them, it's more chill. It's not comfortable, but it's more chill because it's savage over there. I remember my first tournament in my life, I went to Tijuca Tennis Club, where the Worlds used to happen, the Mundial used to happen on that place. When I walked to Tijuca, it was frightening for me. I saw the whole crowd, that, you know, like the heat, the human heat, the crowd, the smell, the funky, and then people say, you're gonna die. I'm 15, I don't wanna die, you know, I don't wanna die.
I'm still young, I'm still young.
I have my whole life ahead. I tap, you know, so like.
I tap today to fight another day, right?
Exactly, so
I'll
it was
go
very
home.
frightening for me, you know, like, so overcoming this, don't get me wrong, Jiu-Jitsu made my life easier. Because it gave me so many challenges since a young age that everything was much easier. I say to my students, Jiu-Jitsu is gonna make your life easier. Never easy, easier. So it's gonna facilitate for you, no doubt, because we live in pressure, under pressure. Big John, 270 pounds this morning, 6:30 in the morning, shoulder on my face. This is not pleasant. But if I'm able to hold Big John 6:30 in the morning, 270 on my face, my problems outside are doable, you know, like I can breathe, I can talk, I can solve that problem.
You have the freedom.
I'm solving Big John's problem 6:30 in the morning. Another problem, I solve it as well, you know. So I was listening to this and that really connected with me is Jiu-Jitsu is gonna give you the ability of solving problems because that's what we do 100% of the time. And it's not a stagnant problem. For example, in your life, you have a problem. You know the problem is there, the problem is not changing. You're gonna change and solve that problem. In Jiu-Jitsu, the problem changes all the time. Your problem now is Ezekiel. You defend Ezekiel, your problem now is armbar. You defend the armbar, your problem now is a triangle. So you're in for 6 minutes, that's what we agree here. You're under problem solving scenario. 6 minutes, like endless, one after the other. So what is solving a stagnant problem in your life that you maybe have a week, a day, hours? You need to solve problems in seconds, you know, like in millimeters.
Like playing chess. When I first started, that's what he told me. He's like, playing chess. I'd never played chess before. In our second game, we played a 4-hour thing.
I think 4.5 hours.
He's like, this is why you're so good at jiu-jitsu. Like,
it's
thinking
mental,
ahead,
you know, like I say to my students, jiu-jitsu, it's not a body game, it's a mental game. The thing is aligning your body to your mind. When your body can follow what you think, you're doing jiu-jitsu on the highest level. The thing is, in the beginning, they are very not in balance. So you think sometimes much ahead, your body cannot follow. Or you're doing something without thinking. So you're not aligned, you're unbalanced. So when you reach that balance with time, with consistent, with the journey, with struggle, you start aligning. And then you think about technique, you replicate the technique, and then you think about it, replicate, and your mind thinks so fast, and then your body's moving so fast.
And you get the muscle memory, and then you don't have to think about it because you've done it 10,000 times.
10,000 times. That's the theory of talent, isn't it? If you do something for 10,000 hours, it becomes natural talent. That's jiu-jitsu. The other day I stopped to do the math. I say, I believe I did the 10,000 hours the past 5 years. You know, like, so... My jiu-jitsu developed a lot because of my consistency. You know, I already came from Brazil with a very solid jiu-jitsu, but the fact of coming every day, learning, and I truly believe, like, we always have this, people comparing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, American jiu-jitsu. For me, it's jiu-jitsu. You know, like, I don't see, I see different characteristics on the people here, on the, you know, like the culture, but not in jiu-jitsu. I believe I have the same tough road that I had in Brazil, the same, you know, like, the only difference for me, it's like more physical. Honestly, American people are huge, man. I have some students here, we didn't have that amount of big people, well-fed, you know, like I say, this is a big problem, my God, those quarterbacks, you know, those big guys. Say, man, you're a big problem to solve.
They present
but I'm down for that. Let's shake hands and go.
It's a new type of puzzle.
It's a new type of puzzle, I agree. Because I remember more in Brazil, like those, my professor was a big guy, but I remember a lot of those small guys, skinny guys that were like ninjas, you know, fast, all over the place, like Bruno Malfacini, for example, all over the place. You don't see the guy coming. I say, this guy is a magician. In America, I see more the guys like, I'm gonna pass your guard, I'm gonna smash you, I'm gonna finish you.
Steamroll.
You know, like, and they do it.
Take you down.
It's
Yeah.
more like a very tough mindset as well.
Right.
You know, like the American military mindset and everything. It's beautiful for me. You know, it's strong people inside.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes I don't need to make them tougher. I need to make them softer,
Yeah.
more human.
Yes.
You know, like
Yeah, right.
So I try to understand everybody has a different challenge. Every person has a different challenge. So I need to understand why you step into my door. I cannot provide you the same jiu-jitsu for everybody because everybody's different. So I try to understand what is your goal, what is your limit. You know, I'm here to respect, but I'm also here to try to provide you the best experience possible. So
Yeah.
some of those guys, I need to bring them back to emotional. You know, look, I'm not fighting you, man. I'm fighting your moves. I like you. You like me.
Yeah.
Don't take this personally. Make it softer.
Yeah.
Some people need to toughen up and say, man, let's fight, man, you know?
Some people never been in a fight in their entire lives.
Exactly. I have a student here, he's 13 years old. What a sweet kid. But every movement that he does is apologize. I'm sorry, pass guard. I'm sorry, mount. I'm sorry. Say, man, you don't need to say sorry. You just need to respect one thing, the tap.
Yeah.
Your partner tap, you let it go.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
agree on that. Do your stuff,
Yeah.
smash, use your strength. We like that.
Yeah.
He say, oh, you do? I say, I do. I like a
good.
tough role. I like a big challenge, you know. That makes me feel alive, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, when your family's too critical, then you're always apologizing,
Isn't
walking
it?
on eggshells.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you're giving him an opportunity to just be himself.
Free yourself, man.
Yeah.
You know, get away of
That's
those, you
huge.
know, like those chains. Free yourself. Let your jiu-jitsu flourish on the floor, you know, like
Yeah.
make it bloom.
Yeah.
So I try to give people liberty because that was given to me.
So as a school owner, as I grow into becoming experienced as a school owner, yeah, just realizing that everybody's formula is going to be a little bit different. How they're going to approach jiu-jitsu, what they want out of it, what their goals are. Everybody's going to have a different destination with the jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is the vehicle.
I agree with you. We have a GRACIE-BARRA nowadays motto is jiu-jitsu for everyone. But I believe in jiu-jitsu for everyone. Not everyone is for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I love that.
Yeah.
I truly
Right,
believe in
yeah.
that, you know, like
Yeah.
I say to everybody, oh, your answer is always jiu-jitsu. I say, yeah, my answer is always jiu-jitsu for me.
Yeah.
Maybe your answer is different.
Yeah.
But if you want to share my answer, I open the door for you. Go
Yeah.
experience. I brought a lot of people to the mess just by go one class for free.
I
Try.
preach it. Yeah. Ever
Try.
since I started and got
You
addicted,
know, like,
I'm like
I
just
can try to sell you jiu-jitsu and I will do a really great job. But after you experience that, I don't need to say anything.
Right.
It's sold.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like, I believe in jiu-jitsu, of course, in a good environment. It's a alignment of jiu-jitsu as the beauty of jiu-jitsu with a good environment. Because you can come to the beauty of jiu-jitsu in a bad environment and you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
People trying to kill you, people are not friendly, people are funky, smelly. I'm not
Full
psycho.
full of ego.
Full of ego. I'm not gonna work 8 hours a day, get out of my job to go to a place where I'm gonna feel animosity. They're gonna treat me bad. That's psycho for me. I don't click with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get out of 8 hours work, you go to a place where they treat you by your name, they give you a hug, they're happy to see you just
Yeah.
because you're there. They welcome you, you roll together, you sweat all your frustration away, all your stress away. By the end of the day, you're feeling free. You look around, you have people that you like. That's magic for me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a daily magic, pill of magic. So that's what I want to provide people. So when I align jiu-jitsu, there is already magical, with a friendly environment, clean, safe, big things happen.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you, my man. Thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much. I appreciate talking to you.
hosting
Styles.
us. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey and continuing on our journey. So
Anytime, man. Anytime that you guys are in Florida, you're welcome
Oh,
at the
we'll
GRACIE-BARRA
come back.
Lake Park. Please come back.
Yeah.
Please, let's develop
thanks
together
for
this journey.
the gifts you gave me. You gave me a couple of sweeps. I was on the receiving end, you know, but we got it on video, so now I can go home and study. So
We keep sharing, man. That's the way I learn. That's the way I keep
Yeah.
learning. And there is always a bigger shark out there, and I want to swim with them.
Yeah.
You know, like I
Yeah.
always want to swim with them. My mindset is if you can tap me, you teach me something, you know? And I
Yeah.
want to learn more. I want to keep
Yeah.
learning.
awesome.
So thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
so
the
much, my man.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Us.
Awesome.
Yeah.